This is Sussex Bay. 100 miles of coast, from Chelsea in the west to Camber Sands in the east. Its natural coastal and marine ecosystems make this a unique and special place. But we're losing vital habitats and species, and our coastline is under threat from flooding and erosion. If our seascape is to flourish in the future, we must bring nature back to our seabed, reefs and rivers. Pioneering work has already begun in Sussex. Recovery of the kelp forests, restoration of the Ada River Valley, and creation of nature corridors. But more is needed to accelerate the inspiring nature restoration projects already underway and ensure they survive long into the future alongside new projects yet to even be conceived. The Sussex Bay organisation is building a bold, collaborative effort across sectors and right across the region to channel vital energy, innovation and resources into this work. And we're inviting you to join these efforts. Because together we can make the difference needed to create a healthy blue ecosystem in which nature, people and economy can thrive together.
Hi everyone, it's wonderful to be here in my home city of Brighton and Hove, although you never get it from my proud Brummie accent. Wow, that short film gets me every time. Welcome to Sussex Bay, you're here. We're 100 miles of coastline from Chelsea to Camber Sands for over 1 million residents, and we're launching here, as it happens, on the 13th of June, and we've been working really hard to get to this stage. We're based upon radical collaboration. We've been incubated over the past 2 years from lots of discussions with hundreds of groups, communities, scientists, residents, and everyone involved in putting nature first in the ocean. Loads of people to thank, but I cannot thank enough the residents, communities, elected members and staff from Ada and Worthing councils just down the road who have stood up locally, regionally and now nationally with their leadership to support this movement, funded by charities but with their generosity, kindness and expertise. Folks, we love a mission in Brighton and we're on one. Our mission is to generate £50 million by 2050 to create a fund for nature in the ocean, to put right the wrongs of hundreds of years of damage in our ocean, to give nature a chance. Generate the funds, high integrity, do the research, working with all the groups, so that when the time is right, we can invest in nature-led projects. Because we're going to need to collaborate, folks. No one organisation can afford or do all of this. We need to collaborate. We need to ask questions without answers. And above all else, we're going to need to be brave. Speaking of bravery, folks, have a look at this photograph taken in 1968 as part of the Apollo 8 mission then. The first photograph, in fact, of Earth from Moon. If I could ask you to just look at how much blue there is on Earth. One ocean. And that's the point. Almost 60 years ago, we did not know then, although some suspected, of the damage we were doing to our ocean in terms of all the good we were taking out and the bad we were putting in. Now, 60 years later, the majority seem to watch on as the minority work brilliantly and tirelessly, day in, day out, on ocean conservation and recovery projects, as if we're not connected for the ocean. Sometimes we forget it's there, but we are connected. Some scientists even suggest that 50%, half, of all oxygen produced on Earth is from the ocean by photosynthesis. Let's pay our respect to the ocean. If I could ask you, we've done this a few times, to take a deep breath in with me and out. Keep breathing, folks. Every breath we take, every sip of water that we drink is a take from nature and our connection to it. We're going to need to be brave, and we're going to need to collaborate to put right the wrongs over the last few years. I'm a geographer by training. 20 years ago, I started collecting bogs and peat samples in the freezing cold bogs of Aberystwyth Bay. Glamorous, I know. Disclaimer, Aberystwyth is beautiful and lovely. But it was only recently, in the last 5 years, that I discovered the power of citizen science. The photograph behind me shows my Spanish, half of my family, I'm half Spanish, taking part in some citizen science in Isla Plana in Spain, in the Mediterranean, looking and helping the government there monitor the positive impact of less boats dropping anchor and damaging the seabed, and earlier signs of recovery are really good. That first feeling, folks, of jumping in the ocean, of stillness, of warmth wrapping around you, if you're lucky with the weather, of not feeling your feet on the ocean bed, that's unforgettable, and it's a great humbler. It's a reminder of how small we are in the grand scheme of things. Last year, I took this picture underwater. It's a jellyfish. The Spanish word is medusa. Picture the scene. On our boat, about to do our citizen science and jump in and help the government, good people that we are. I counted 15 medusas circling our boats. As beautiful as they are, folks, they sting a bit. And they're letting us know on their terms if we can swim with them or not. I'll be honest, Spanish partner chose yes, I chose no. Power to the medusas. There you go. We're going to do a bit of that today. Okay, whilst the story of Sussex Bay does not involve medusas, as far as I know, but you can never be sure, we do have a wonderful collection of marine wildlife, habitat and species on our doorstep. To name but a small number, a few: dolphin, cuttlefish, kelp, tompot blenny, plaice, stingray. Stingray, I know, right? Stingray. But these fragile ecosystems, as noted in the beautiful film, are under pressure, and they need our help, they need our support, and they need our radical collaboration. I love this mural on the side of the St Leonard's New Wave Art Centre, just down the coast in St Leonard's by Sea, of Sir David Attenborough. And I love it because it reminds me of people power and radical collaboration in action. Back in 2020, March 2021, 2,500 people signed a petition as part of the Help Our Kelp campaign to call for the banning, the bylaw, of large fish trawling, big, massive, heavy nets along this ocean bed outside Brighton and Worthing, which for years have damaged everything in their path, have ripped up all the species. The good news is, championed by Sir David Attenborough, that bylaw came into effect in March 2021. You can still fish here, you can still bathe, do everything, but in a more sustainable way. Okay, power to the medusas wherever you are, power to the cuttlefish, power to the tompot blenny, and why not power to the stingray? Just look at what we can do when we collaborate. I had no idea before I joined Sussex Bay nationally how fragmented everything was. There is no national funding for the ocean in the UK. There is no national policy. There is no complete data set, although there are some fantastic people working in this space. But that means that all of us have to compete for dwindling resources. And how can you collaborate when you have to compete? I was chatting to someone recently in Brighton in New Road, just outside this fantastic venue, and they said to me really kindly and innocently, "What's the ocean got to do with us?" It's staggering, isn't it? There's an education piece there. The expectation that nature will just recover from these hundreds of years of damage. I think they asked the wrong person that question. A few other things as well. So today we're asking for your hope. We are a wonderful species. We are resilient and we can be kind. But there are environmental limits. And if we're not careful, our hope will become a nope. Hope is great, it's a start, but we need national policy. We need more collaboration, we need more sustained funding, and we need you. We need more people collaborating with us and joining a movement Everything we do in Sussex Bay can be replicated nationally. If you live here, wherever you are in the UK, overseas, you are welcome. I was trying to explain to the Spanish half of my family, my partner, now husband, after 8 años, 8 years, why so many people work in the ocean space. The trouble is, my Spanish hasn't developed. It's still, hola, ¿qué tal? Me llamo Dean, ¿cómo estás? I do know some good words, serpiente and araña, snake and spider. But I ended up, and la cuenta, por favor, the bill. But I ended up trying to explain it in really straightforward terms. Sadly and seriously, in parts of the globe, the ocean is dying. An example, La Manga, the southeast of Spain, La Manga, a beautiful geological spit, massive expanse of sand. That's formed a natural sandy cove, beautiful. But the locals are scared to bathe, swim, and eat local fish there. In fact, they won't set foot in the water because they know that over the past 50 years, all sorts of chemicals, toxins, and nasties have been dumped in there. The Spanish authorities are brilliant now at tackling the issue. But can you imagine if we did nothing here? What we're asking today, folks, is to encourage your connection to the ocean when you think about breathing, when you take a sip of water. But more than that, help us with citizen science, it's free. When you're next walking on the undercliff, the Jurassic Coast in Brighton, and you see a dolphin, a piece of kelp, a flock of dunlin, a flock of birds, whatever it is, upload it onto the relevant charity websites so that they can use that photo, that information, to help with data and research. There are some great examples nationally. Sussex Underwater, a fantastic community movement of local divers reporting sightings online. Sussex Dolphin Project, Sussex Kelp app, and many, many more. Finally, Brighton, whatever you choose, if you choose to swim with medusas, or better off, if you don't, whatever your interest, whatever your care, whatever your background, you're all welcome, and we would love for you to come on this journey with us. Brighton, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.